The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. This is Ed McMahon along with Doc Severinsen of the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny and his guests, Joan Rivers, the Bee Gees, Rob Reiner, and Dr. David Rubin. And now, here's Johnny.
Thank you. I know that your applause is really a mandate to do this monologue for another 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey. Right on.
My grandmother used to make quilts like that. Did your grandmother make quilts like that? So help me.
Well, if your old granny's missing a quilt, she knows where to look, doesn't she?
I certainly hope so. Now that the election is over, let me say to all of you, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, now is the time for us to unite together and to work for the common cause and to get out and get those bumper stickers off the car. You can never get them off, you know. It's 4 years from now they'll be riding around. You know, there's talk already about 1976. Did you see that? Commentators today were already discussing who might run. There's Agnew, Senator Percy, Governor Reagan, who else? Senator Brooke, Senator Kennedy. I don't think any of them have a chance, and I'll tell you why. If Mr. Nixon wouldn't come out of the White House while he was president, what makes them think he's ever going to come out? You know. It is, you know, it's hard to believe out here in California some businesses took advantage of Election Day. Do you believe that?
Sure.
Hollywood Motel put up an American flag out in front, and they did a great business. You've never seen so many people voting under the name Smith in your life. It was, Sergeant Schreiber is already having troubles. As a punishment for the election, his wife took away his allowance. You folks shouldn't boo because this is a sad day for me. Did you know this is the anniversary of the death of my old uncle, Fess Carson?
I didn't know that.
What? Fess Carson, yes. See, they're giggling, and to me, it's a tragedy. No, my Uncle Fess, he was an Indian scout in the 1840s, and he was very poor. He couldn't afford a coonskin cap. He glued a squirrel to his head. Uncle Fess died a strange death. He'd had his ear pressed to the ground, listening for the noon stage. And his, you're right, his watch was slow and the stage ran over his head. It was, one of those terrible things. Oh, yeah. I have no pride at all. I go for any of this stuff. How's the thumb?
Much better. Stitches
they took
are
the
all
bandages
out.
off today.
Stitches are out. I'm mending.
But they didn't do a very good. That's a completely different color than your normal thumb. Was that a bandage?
That's a Curad.
Well, that's the bandage on
Yes,
there. Oh. I said, that's a lousy job. That doesn't even match. I thought all the bandages were off. I said, wow, that guy is colorblind who did that. Ed is breaking in your new act.
Yes.
Opens Monday in New York City at the St. Regis Room.
Right.
How about that?
Oh, thank you.
The St. Regis is raising the cover charge to $2 to keep out Ed's friends. So, they, what else? They had a big, you know the massage parlors? I thought they closed them up out here a year ago. They didn't, did they? They had a big massage parlor raid out here on Santa Monica just the other day. And the only guy got away. One guy got away. And the only clues were a pink jumpsuit and a trumpet case. What else happened this week? They canceled some more network shows this week. I mentioned last night Bonanza, after 14 years, is going off the air. Yeah, I kind of hate to see that one go off.
Yeah.
Anna and the King, who didn't make it. They're cruel out here in Hollywood. They canceled the Bold Ones right in the middle of an operation. And they had to wheel the patient over to young Dr. Kildare. It's weird. What else happened? Boy, the poor Indians certainly got a... Did you read about that in Washington? The Indians occupied the Bureau of Indian Affairs building, I guess, because they're a little hacked. They did not get a good deal in this country, did they?
No.
You know, not at all. They used to have the whole country, and now all they have is an alligator handbag concession in the Everglades. It doesn't seem quite right. What else do we have tonight? Oh, did you see that interview with President Nixon's valet in the papers? I know that he's going to write a book tonight. He's been with the Nixon family for years. He's the president's personal valet. He's worked for the Nixons so long that he just found out this week that their blue is not the only color suits come in. Did you know that? He didn't know that. Do you think I'm ever going to be invited to the White House at all? I don't think so. Anyway, tonight we have Johnny Rivers, we have Dr. David Rubin, we have the Bee Gees, and we have Mr. Rob Reiner from All in the Family. Anything else we're going to do?
That's it.
Oh, I will do that in just a minute.
Don't touch me if you don't mean it, Ted.
And now our own Mr. Ed is about to offer you a Clydesdale.
Well, not just one, but 8. The full team of world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales, plus a wagon. Here it is, a beautifully detailed replica, finished in bright gold color on an attractive base. Now, this exciting miniature is offered in kit form, where you see this special put-it-all-together display. And that, of course, is my cue to remind you, whatever's on your fall calendar of activities, put it all together with Budweiser. Football games, friendly get-togethers, great parties, great food. Fall is the season to put it all together with Budweiser. And remember, when it comes to taste, smoothness, and drinkability, and the Clydesdales, when you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Welcome back.
Did you see, I told you yesterday.
What is that?
What?
Are we canceled, too, and they're not telling us?
That's how you know.
Wouldn't this be sweet? All you do is find your microphone cord coiled up on the floor. You're not even plugged in.
That's it. What is it?
I don't know. I just saw it here by my desk. I
Listen,
think
put it back. It could
Here's
be
one for
important.
you.
Oh, okay.
Here's a wire just came for you. Remember those?
Yeah. Taking my case to a higher court.
Anybody know what these are?
To call someone importance.
Last night, the amplifier was
Right.
squeaking over there, and tonight, two
Listen, it's
microphone
not squeaking
cords.
tonight. Maybe if they put the wires over here, it doesn't squeak.
I just have to see it there. Well, if that's where they want it, I suppose. It's supposed to be there for some reason. One of our guests probably is going to do that, do something with that. I hope it's
Right.
Dr. David Rubin.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do with all that, though. You open Monday. You know, we start in New York.
Monday for 3 weeks.
Monday night for
Yes.
3 weeks, and then we will come back here. And yesterday they had 5 inches of
That's
rain
what I saw. Remember I told you I left there yesterday morning in a rainstorm. I couldn't believe 5. That's a lot.
in 1 day.
One day.
I love the
We haven't
papers.
had
What
5
they always,
inches in a year.
you know what the paper always says? It kills me. I don't know why they say it. If it would have been snow,
Yes.
it would have been 4 feet of snow.
Right.
No, what is that? If it would have been overshoes, it would have probably been 10 feet of overshoes. Hockey pucks? If that had been hockey
Oh,
pucks.
hockey pucks.
20
Oh,
feet
yeah,
of hockey
sure.
pucks. I never understand that. If
Right.
it had been snow. It wasn't snow. It was rain. So they got 5 inches. You open there Monday night?
Monday night.
With your new thumb?
My new thumb, yes.
But tomorrow, aren't you also appearing somewhere?
I'm appearing on a Dinah's place. You've been there.
Yes.
And Dinah cooked for me. Now, that's pretty... You're supposed to go there and cook.
Yes.
But she cooked a special little taste thing for me. Very nice. And I sing a song tomorrow from my act, one of the songs.
Aren't you going to do this for us in New York while you're in New York?
I just heard about that. Peter LaSalle, the Flying Dutchman, just said to me,
Wouldn't you like to do
I'd like to do a number if you'd like.
a
Yes.
small snippet from your performance? Doc has done it.
Yeah,
from
all
his,
right.
Sure, Doc broke in his act
right.
here. You should do part of your
All
act
right.
here.
Next one.
I'd do part of my act, but I'm not going to work for this crummy money. Here are some listings.
These are actual.
They're cut out and printed on a
Yes.
piece of bonded paper.
Yes.
These
Actual
are
listings.
actual listings from Television Guide magazine, which give you, like, small capsule...
Like a précis.
Yes, a miniature précis of the shows on television. And if you read these,
Many
it's
times
a
they're
wonder
humorous.
anybody watches television, just because they're very short. Gomer Pyle. And here's the whole composite of the show. Gomer dreams it a great honor to be a busboy.
Was that one you're on? Because I don't want to miss that one.
Yes. Gene Autry. Pat Buttram gets himself and Gene into trouble. That's all it says. That girl. Time is running out as Don tries to remove a bowling ball from Ann's toe. Grown men sit and write this material for us to watch on television. Ozzie and Harriet. Ozzie must write a Christmas thank you note for a fruitcake he doesn't like.
That's high drama.
Yes. Cannon poses a furrier to trap a gang of thieves. Get this, Wild Wild West. West and Artemis try to find out why the evil Count Manzeppi is so anxious to get his hands on a toy chicken. I would not lie to you, friends. That's right out of Television Guide. Dennis the Menace. Mr. Wilson shares the Mitchell guest room with Dennis's bullfrog. Don't these exciting, though? Doris Day. Damsel in distress. There's a peeping Tom in Doris's neighborhood. Gilligan's Island. A loosened tooth filling has turned Gilligan's head into a radio receiver. That's the bill of fare the Television Guide gives you to watch the shows. Who would turn in?
I don't know.
Who would turn in?
That's all we want to hear about that.
No, that's not all we want to hear about that. We have some little Television Guide wrap-ups of our own. If they would do what we do,
People would listen.
You'd get a couple more viewers. The Underworld Water of Jacques Cousteau. Jacques shows how he fights loneliness by allowing an octopus to nest in his wetsuit. Now you got something.
That's heavy tuning.
Now that I'd want to see. Mod Squad. Link hires a Japanese gardener to prune his head. The Rookies. The Rookies are in trouble when a godfather's daughter makes them an offer they can't refuse. They gotta punch these up a little bit. They don't do that. Cannon. Cannon calls in late because he's stuck in a phone booth. Just once. What is it? Marcus Welby. Dr. Welby reprimands Dr. Kiley for asking a patient to cough too many times. Ironside. It's Ironside's birthday, and Ed and Fran give him a pair of steel-belted radials. Doris Day. A psychologist cures a peeping Tom by having him stare in Doris's window. Anna and the King. The classroom needs a globe, so Anna paints a map of the world on the King's head. The Brady Bunch. Mike accidentally walks in on Alice's bath and locks the door behind him. You got a plot there. Mission Impossible. Phelps poses as a coffee table to capture a killer interior decorator. Sesame Street. Senator McGovern counts to 17, spells Massachusetts, and sings, "I Got a Right to Sing the Blues." I mean, those are some of the shows that are. All right. Tonight we have Joan Rivers, we have the Bee Gees, sensational young trio from England, who have sold I don't know how many millions of records. We have Mr. Rob Reiner from All in the Family, and Dr. David Rubin, of course. And we'll be right back after this cough.
You've got a nasty, tickling, scratching, annoying cough from a cold. And you can't sleep if you're coughing. So you say to yourself, I will not cough. And you try to suppress it yourself. But you can't. You need a strong cough medicine. Vicks Formula 44. Formula 44 can help suppress the cough you can't suppress. Formula 44 is a cough suppressant as effective as codeine, but not narcotic. Formula 44 can help suppress the cough you can't suppress.
Ever notice how much worse your child's cold sounds than yours? It is worse. The breathing passages are smaller, the nose clogs up more, the chest is more uncomfortable. Many colds medicines aren't recommended for young children. Vicks Vapor Rub is. It relieves congestion for up to 8 hours. She breathes better, feels better, so she can sleep. Vicks Vapor Rub, an effective decongestant for the miseries of a cold.
Just checking Ed's thumb. You don't have a thumbprint, do you?
No, I have a little,
You didn't see the night we were talking about. I bet they took some skin off the back of your ear here, right?
Right.
And grafted it on your thumb.
Right.
And
What was that?
Yes, you only that's the problem you have now. Would you speak up a little bit? Yeah. That's true, they took it. Still works, doesn't it? Yes.
You may see that Monday
We're going to
night.
get a lot of mileage out of that, just speaking of my thumb. But it should take, right? But you will never have a thumbprint.
No. But you imagine a little thing like that. You think it's so simple. He said that it would have been easier to take out my appendix than to do this operation.
Why didn't you have him take out your appendix?
If I'd have only thought at the time. There are 23 stitches they had in there.
In that little teeny
little
thumb?
thing, yeah.
Oh. But it's all right.
Yes, it's all right.
Did you get the flowers that I sent you?
No.
Oh, well, it's okay. I didn't send anything. I just wanted. If you'd have got them, there would have been a mix-up.
Mistake.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get it. But thank you for not sending them.
Yes, my first guest is a dear friend. She's one of the truly original. You see, I was ahead of myself. You ever do that? You're thinking of the next
Yes.
word?
Yes.
What's that called?
That's called thinking of the next word ahead of yourself.
I thought there was a technical term. I was going to say comedian, and I was thinking a comedian, and then I said original instead of original.
Yes.
So
Like genuine.
So I wouldn't say comedian.
Yes.
She's an original comedian.
Yes.
But there's a technical term for that.
Well, if you don't know it, what are you bugging me about?
What?
What?
Speaking of my thumb, she's currently appearing at the Little, not the Little Club. What?
Appearing?
What did I say?
She's currently appearing.
She is. It's a thing she does in her act, and I don't want to tip it, but she's appearing there. How do you know she's not appearing there?
All right.
All right, she's appearing at the Little, not the Little Club, Ye Little Club.
Well, just let her come out.
What?
Just let her come
In Beverly Hills, California.
Anything else you could tell us about it?
I'm
before
going
she
to,
starts?
yes. She opens at the Sahara Hotel.
Sahara.
Sahara, I said, in Las Vegas on November
You haven't gone back
20th.
on the booze
November
you didn't tell me,
28th.
have you?
What?
You haven't gone back on the booze.
No,
you
I
didn't tell me.
haven't, no. But that's what does this. When I don't drink, it all comes out jumbled. Would you welcome? Who was I introducing? Oh, Joan Rivers. Yes, she's aren't they great? Great audience tonight.
Laughing at anything, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, you're
no
the-
offense. But you
No, they're good mood tonight.
great audience, yes.
You look very svelte.
Thank you, thank you.
Very svelte. You know what I was doing today? We moved out in California, and I was going through a box of material and scripts and so forth, and I pulled out a script that you had written when you were auditioning for a writer once for The Tonight Show.
For you?
You and another, it was a young man you were writing with.
No, it was Treva Silverman, a girl writer.
Really?
Two of us together who were very mature.
And I came across this material by Joan Rivers and this other girl's name, and it was about 1964.
Hardly,
60-something.
John.
Oh.
1970. No, about 1964, and we were just dying. Yeah. Terrific jokes in it.
And there was some fun. No, there were some funny jokes in there.
So why didn't you hire us?
Should have hired you at the time.
Yeah, but see, nobody likes women writers, that's why.
Well, the only one I know is Selma Diamond, who's been quite successful.
Yeah, but you know that no man likes it because they don't know how to treat you. The first day, you drop your pencil, everybody goes and picks it up, right? Second day, you drop your pencil, you pick it up yourself. Third day, they step in your hand. You know, it's very hard to be a girl.
Really?
/ woman.
Yeah.
Check one.
You
But,
look very snappy. What, are you
Except,
wearing
yeah,
those?
are those incredible?
No, I saw. I thought you...
Do those say hello, sailor?
Been gone long, fella? Yes, those are pavement princess type of pedal little things you've got there.
$50 I bought them. I put them on. I go right to the docks. Automatically, you find And you're saying things like, want to meet my mother? It's
Those are
just-
dangerous, don't you know that?
Well, only if you want to commit suicide. Remember those jokes?
Yes.
Just jump off the wedgie. But
I read that women's ankles...
they didn't obviously hear those old jokes.
Yes, but...
Yes, they're supposed to be very dangerous. But fashion, you do what they ask you.
What? See, women are...
You do.
Want to be independent, but you're not.
Oh, yes, I do whatever they tell me. I bought this in Beverly Hills. It's not my style. And see, the sales ladies don't care either. I had it on, said it's you, it was on backward. Now, I ask you, you know what I'm telling you? She actually said it's on backwards, sir. But, so that's...
The sales ladies give you trouble?
No.
Do you feel, first of all, that they are really kind of angry to begin with?
Not
at you?
in California. See,
Yeah.
that's what I miss.
Oh, you miss? In New York, they're not that way?
Oh, California, everyone's so polite, it's dull.
Well, that's what I meant.
dull.
They're more polite here.
Yes.
Yeah.
New York, it was a pleasure, because you never spent too much money, because they wouldn't wait on you. It was so wonderful, you know? They'd say, I'd like that watch. Sure, you were Jewish? Well, you're not going to get it.
Sure you'd like that.
Leave your name, we'll vote. It was different in New York.
Yeah.
Don't you miss all that?
Oh, no, not after I read they had 5 inches of rain yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't miss that particularly. But
Oh,
no, I miss New York. New York's a great city, and we put it down sometimes, but they are a little more relaxed out here.
Yes, too much so. I mean, they'll sell you anything. They sold me a leather bidet. Now, I ask you, you know... That's for 6% that know what we're talking about.
Weird, yes.
Where are we going to use a leather bidet?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Suppose
And I
unless,
bought it.
unless the Marquis decided to invite you to a party or something, I suppose you're out of luck.
You can always keep your fingers crossed. But it's hard. See, that's what I don't like.
Yeah.
California is too easy. I
It is?
miss the tension and anger of New York.
You need the hostility there.
Oh, absolutely. Don't you a little bit?
Yeah, at times.
You know, keeps you alive. You know, I see my little girl loves it here, Melissa. Melissa.
How did she know? She's what, 2, 3?
Melissa's 4 3/4 already. Time flies.
I didn't know.
Doesn't that get you crazy? Yes, it's
Yes.
a person walking around, you know. And she's much
I
smarter.
remember when you sat in this very chair, maybe not this very chair, carrying her.
Yeah, I said I'm pregnant, but actually I said that on the phone to you, if you remember. And
Those are the calls that age you quickly. You what? Yeah.
when I called Edgar up, he put me on hold. You remember that? So his secretary, check out this one.
4 and 3? I didn't know that.
Yes.
And she liked it better here.
Well, she's very smart, so I figure if she likes it better, then it's better.
What do you mean she's smart? How smart can a 4 3/4 be?
But well, for her age, she's smart.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, I wouldn't put her against Bobby Fischer. You know.
Yeah.
But
Did you see him last night? Wasn't he great on the show?
Well, it was a wonderful show.
Yeah,
last
he was good last
Yes,
night.
but you would have gotten it eventually, John.
The puzzle.
That's see, Melissa, it's partly Dr. Spock, by the way, who made her smart. Because in his book, he says the minute you have the kid, if you start talking to it, do you know this? From the minute it's born, you talk to it, the brain develops faster. And the minute I had Melissa, I would talk to her in the carriage, I would talk to her while I was changing, and she spoke at 7 months, which is incredible. Her first words were, "Would you shut up already?"
I was going to say over her first words, and I should have. But you knock it off.
Will you leave me alone? I have a headache.
We'll follow up on that.
Yes.
That's interesting. But, all right, we'll have to do this first. And we have a word from one of our sponsors, and we're going to come back and talk about a lot of things. Dr. David Rubin here in the BG.
Once there lived an ugly Kodak film cartridge. Ugly. Until one day he met a Kodak prepaid processing mailer. "Come with me," said the mailer, "and I will make you handsome." And so off they went to Kodak. When they returned, behold, the ugly cartridge had turned into handsome prints. Moral, get Kodak prepaid processing mailers, and your prints will live handsomely ever after.
I am Luis Reyes. This is my family. I have a farm in Cibao, the finest land for growing cigar tobacco in all of Santo Domingo. Dutch Masters buys my tobacco for their cigars. They buy other mild, expensive tobaccos too, from Colombia, Brazil, Puerto Rico. But to me, it is most important that Dutch Masters buy my tobacco. If they buy my tobacco, they must make a very good cigar.
We're back. My guests are Joan Rivers, Dr. David Rubin, Rob Reiner, and the Bee Gees will be along. We're talking about raising kids, I guess. Or mine are all grown up now. I've been through all that. You say your daughter at 4 3/4.
I just wrote a book about it, by the way.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Somebody
it's
down.
coming out. It's called, which I shouldn't even say it now. It'll be out in 6 months. But it's a funny Dr. Spock. You know what I mean?
And how to raise children.
Because he always says, like, give the kid 2 aspirin. I used to say to Edgar, how do you get the rotten kid's mouth open? So that's the kind of a book it is, you know. How
One thing to
find
give them
it.
aspirin to get them in there.
Yeah, twist the ear and stick
Yeah.
them.
Seems so long since my kids were that age.
But I don't mean that specifically, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But Melissa was very bright, so I never had trouble with her. She housebroke herself. I was very dumb. No, she did. See, everyone laughs. I bought her a potty, and the first time she put it on her head and saluted, and from then on she understood the concept was the other end, and that was over. But I was dumb, John. See, my mother. Oh, I used to sit in the sandbox and wait for high tide.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
A dumb kid.
It's a dumb kid.
They would buy me Cracker Jacks, and I would eat the prize and keep the candy. I mean, just
little things like that.
little things like that make you wonder about the kid, right? Dumb, and in college I wasn't even smart.
Oh, come on.
John, I once stayed up all night studying for a blood test. Now, you wouldn't believe it.
I'm not going to ask you how you turned out.
I got a lot of pluses. But,
Were you a popular girl in college?
oh, come on.
Now, you see, you're very svelte now.
Yes.
But you said you used to be heavy.
Heavy.
I can't imagine you being really heavy.
Oh,
You're too thin.
Thank you.
You're too thin right
That's
now.
the nicest thing you could say to me.
Really, you are. I think you're too thin.
In the face, but nobody, you know what I'm telling you. Lumber. But that's, no, I had a gym suit that said pass and don't pass on the back. I mean, that's... Is that a fatty? And so I wasn't too popular, because how many guys like fat, stupid girls?
Yeah, that's kind of a bad combination.
I mean, you never said fix me up with a fat dope.
No, chubby girls, to be very honest with you, guys usually don't go for.
And I was in love, of course. I had a boyfriend, Salvador Bonafetti, who lived down my block.
Salvatore Bonafetti.
Oh, heaven in the name. In the name. I used to walk my dog back and forth in front of his house till the tree died. I just... mad about it.
And never did? You never asked out?
Never asked. He wasn't too bright either. You know, because he was a football player. You know, he won his letter, you had to read it to him. You know, those kind of jokes. He liked, you know who he dated?
No.
Heidi Abramowitz, remember?
You've talked about Heidi Abramowitz before. Heidi was, let us say, she liked boys, didn't she?
That's a nice way to... She had welcome on her underwear, remember? We talked
Oh,
about
I did. That's the one, yes. Oh, yes, Heidi.
Who my mother said she was going to have to pay the piper, and at 14 he was paying Heidi. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he dated her and married her, but didn't work out. They got divorced. I met them all, which is funny.
Did you ever run into your high school or college friends?
Went back to a class reunion, which is very strange. Have you ever gone back?
I was going to go back to my 20th high school night reunion, and I couldn't make it a few years ago. And now it's up to 20. I don't even want to tell you how many years it is now.
Because you get very, you know, you want to look nice. So I had Edgar dress up as the chauffeur. Oh, you want to pull up with class, right? And he had a hat and the whole outfit. And he ran around, he opened the car door, the whole school was there, and he said, you know, here you are, Miss Rivers. And I said, thank you, James, see you in bed. Which I thought was puff, very classy. And Heidi was there, but things have not been good to Heidi.
Really?
No. I said, what are you up to? She said, $50. Which is kind of, it's hard for
Did you ever see people in high school you admired, though, and later on in life, they didn't turn out as well? Like the most popular in the class does not always turn out to be the most successful.
Yes.
And sometimes the little ugly-looking kid, the glasses and the ears sticking out, turns out to be, when he gets older, the swinger and very attractive. It doesn't always work that way, does it?
Look at Onassis. I'm sure he was not too popular in high school. No, the truth. I mean, you know, I'm sure he's
I don't know him, and I've only seen pictures of him.
Yeah, well, he's no beauty. I mean, if he had looked like Jackie, she would never have married him. I mean, let's be very honest, right?
Well,
that must have been a wedding night, but let's not go into that.
No, let's
But that's
let's don't go into that.
let's not go into that. But that's But then again, I hear he's very charming.
Yes, that's what I hear. He's very
and
bright.
loaded, and that counts.
You
That's
think
what?
his looks looks really attractive to you? I mean, does that make a difference to you?
Not for a woman, but for a man. All it counts as far as a woman goes is looks. You know this.
Yeah. No.
Oh, a friend of mine. See, women don't care what men look like. A friend of mine's having an affair now with a midget, which is kind of interesting. You see, you know?
Dare I ask about this?
No, because everyone, it's the safest thing if you're married, because everyone will go, oh, come on, a midget? Are you crazy? So it's very safe.
I see.
Plus, every time she kisses him, the only bad thing is she picks him up, he gets a nosebleed. But otherwise,
You weird you are.
But, see, the nice thing is...
Yes? What's the nice thing about having an affair with a midget?
The nice thing is, when her husband comes home, she can just throw him in a drawer.
I knew you were going somewhere, but I didn't know where. Or put him in an old Kleenex box or something like that, I suppose. Oh, that's madness.
You don't think about these kind of things.
No.
I have more time.
Yeah.
Because my career's going nowhere.
Well, you're working at the little club here? all the
Oh,
time?
please. I have an agent. How can I just... You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at yourself sometimes and you say, it's your own fault where you are where you are.
Right.
I have an agent. He has an apartment/office. Does that tell you where we're at?
An apartment? Oh, I see.
Slash office,
Yes.
right? He can cook eggs, sit on the john, and answer the phone at the same time. It's just the lowest. Just the phone rings, the lights dim in the office. I mean, it's cheap, John.
Cheap, huh?
Cheap. And he has a little card. It says Irving Agent. Right there, not ashamed. And he has 2 masks, and they're both tragedy. And that's what you do. And he's handling my career.
Oh, well.
And he shouldn't be an agent. You don't have an agent anymore, do you?
Not really.
Because you don't need an agent.
Well, I've had managers and agents, but
Yeah.
I don't have one currently.
But if they're going to be an agent or manager, they should start out at that. My guy started out, he was a publicity man.
No.
You want to hear a story? Because like we're talking about midgets, which is interesting. He was the guy that handled Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
I didn't know that.
Didn't you know? Yes.
He was a publicity agent for that.
Yes, this is really true. In 1939, they were holding the premiere at Radio City Music Hall. It was a Christmas show.
Uh-huh.
And Irving decided for the premiere to get 7 midgets, that's what made me connect, 7 little midgets, and hire them, little midget actors,
Very clever.
to play the dwarfs and put them on the marquee. Make sense?
Mm.
So they had auditions, and they got 7 little guys, and they put them in like red jackets and yellow vests and little pom-pommy shoes. And they put them up there, and it was going great. The kids were waving, hello, hello, and, you know, Dopey was waving back, hi, hi, Doc, and Dopey. Then it got very cold. So Irving said, look, even though they're midgets, they still, you know, are going to be cold. Let's send them up a bottle of liquor. This is a true story. They sent them up a bottle of liquor. They each took 1 drink and went right to their heads because they're very short. And they got drunk, and they turned to 7 vicious little men. Did you know about this?
No.
Taking icicles.
It's the truth.
Truth. And throwing them at the kids. Go to hell, you rotten kids.
Oh, I wish I'd have been there.
And
That
the kids were going, Dopey made me bleed.
true story.
And the mothers were going, me too, and I love it. It was a true story.
And you got him, huh?
I got him. That's my agent.
You're a crazy lady.
But it's a
You are.
true story.
We got to cut in here. You're going to have to leave early because you're going to premiere tonight,
gonna
I understand.
premiere.
Here's Ed cutting up in the kitchen. Watch your thumb, Ed.
Didn't lead into it.
Okay, I've just sliced some old cheddar on Morton Salt's beautiful new cut and serve board. Now, it looks like a butcher's block, but it's made by a new process to last for years, resisting cracking, warping, or even showing cutting marks. And on the other side, look at that, some very famous words. When it rains, it pours. And look, the old look of wood. That'll add charm to any kitchen. Just send $3.50, check or money order, along with the spout seal off the package to Morton Salt Offer, Chicago, Illinois, 60606.
And what did your bleeding hearts pass when they were in office? A lot of garbage.
They put people to work.
Oh, yes.
They opened
Make work
daycare
stuff,
centers.
raking
They
leaves,
passed
digging up trolley
anti-pollution
contracts,
laws
and
street
planting
lighting.
pussy willows. That's what they passed. Pass the Pepto-Bismol.
If you're having politics for dinner, have Pepto-Bismol around for dessert. Pepto-Bismol is a kind of protective coating between the upset and the stomach.
I'm glad that's settled anyway. Now, where were we?
As I said, I know you're going to a premiere of, what is it, Young Winston or
Young
something?
Winston.
Good.
Is that exciting?
Come back and be with us
Yeah,
again,
I'll
and
see you
because we're going to be in New York for a while, and then we're going to be back here in 3 weeks.
Good to see you again.
Thank you,
for
Johnny.
letting me go. It's a
Oh,
pleasure.
thank you. I know you have to go. Come on, watch your shoes. Hi, sailor. Crazy shoes, you see that? How many of you women have those kind of shoes? That's big now, isn't it? The thick, thick black ones?
Yeah, yes, lady over there.
You could fall off and hurt yourself. For the past 5 years, the Bee Gees have been responsible for a string of million best-selling albums and singles. Their latest album is titled To Whom It May Concern. They'll be appearing at the Los Angeles Coliseum on November the 25th. Would you welcome, please, the world-renowned pop group, the Bee Gees. Fellas.
If you're happy marching forward in your band, holding hands together, I will understand. In my life, I'm together on my own with my own private eggshell and my phone. If your mind is in the darkness, could you know? If it suits you to be fast or far too slow, will you show me someone who could treat me kind? Or is this world I live in just a frame of mind? If you're living in Chicago, it's your home. If you're living in Chicago, you're alone. And soon as you discover where you're going, can I walk along the way, along the way? I'm lonesome and I need somebody knowing. Just a few nice words to get me through the day. If your mind is in the darkness, can you know? Could you know? If it suits you to be fast or far too slow, and will you show me someone that may treat me kind? Or is this world just a frame of mind? If you're living in Chicago, it's your home. If you're living in Chicago, you're alone. If you're living in Chicago, it's your home. If you're living in Chicago, you're alone.
Sit down. Who's gonna take this seat? Gonna argue who's gonna sit in this one? One of you's got to take it. Say we got Robin and Barry and Maurice on the end, right? Last time I saw you, you did not have the beard, did you, Barry?
I got a little bit painted on by the man in the makeup room.
Yeah. You didn't have that last time, then?
No, I didn't.
I don't think.
No, I didn't.
How long has it been since you've been with us?
About a year.
About a year?
About a year.
And you're here for, what, an extended concert?
To make an LP, and we're also here for the
rock concert.
The concert. It's about 120,000 people.
120,000 people?
Yeah.
Have you ever been at one of those rock concerts where they had some problems, here in this country? I don't know whether they have in England or not, where some of them got out of hand and it almost closed a lot of them up, and they became kind of unpopular because, and it's too bad because it was a great place for the kids to go and really.
There was a whole thing called the Angry Brigade or something. Kept going around saying, well, we made you what you are, so you can sing for us for nothing, you see. And we thought, who's going to pay all the airfares, all the bands, sound system and all that? And they said, no, you should play for nothing.
Yeah, your fans sometimes are well-meaning, but they get it a little out of perspective.
About them.
Yeah.
Because, like, say, for instance, that thing you had in America, Woodstock.
Right.
They staged a great big demonstration about that because it was about students. So students staged a great demonstration about it because it was about them. So they think, why should we pay to go and see it? What about ourselves?
That's quieted down somewhat, hasn't it, now?
Yeah.
I think most of them have gotten off a little more order now in the fans. Yeah. When you come over here, do your friends in England say, hey, get us something in the night while you're in the States at all?
Oh, albums especially, like cartridge tapes and things like that, because they come out here first before they do. Even our own albums come out here first before they
Why's
do.
that?
England.
That's interesting.
I
Because
don't
they're
know.
more
I think
together.
someone's... you have a bigger market here for
Right.
a start.
They just press them here quickly.
So your own albums will be released here before you get them back home?
Yes.
Very true.
So we buy our own albums here and take them home with us.
A while
Don't
ago.
release that yet.
Which are you two guys now? Is it Robin who are fraternal brothers?
Yeah, we're...
Maurice
we're
and Robin? You're twins.
Yeah.
Who's the older? That's an old stock question, but
Well, he's half an hour older than I am, but you wouldn't really know it. You know.
he looks it.
Well,
You
he's
look
got
it.
longer hair than I have, I suppose.
All you guys are married, right?
Yes.
But I understand, Barry, you're the only one who travels with your wife. Why is that? I mean,
Yes, I do.
Well, I've been lucky this time. My wife's working here as well, so...
Yeah. But
She's come over.
mainly I'm the only one that takes my wife with me.
yeah.
Robin has a boy. He has a baby, so you know. It's
Well,
very
you got a
difficult.
young youngster at home, right?
Well, he's only 4 weeks old. And
You can't
So
very
he
well
can't.
travel around.
No,
not at the first stage.
You guys have sold somebody told me about 50 million
Yeah,
records
something
like
like
that.
Yeah.
Is there any
We're
place...
having a competition with the Osmonds at the moment.
Say, the Osmonds, I read that they're tearing England apart over there, aren't they? They're over there in a
doing
concert
fantastic.
now?
There's
They're
only one thing wrong, though. They're in the middle of their tour in England now, and Donny's voice has broken.
Yeah, Donny Osmond is 14, and where he's
Well,
had
he was-
that high tenor, now all of a sudden he's not making those little...
Well, he was doing a thing. It was like, and they called it puppy love.
He's going to draw all of those. He's going to go from the Pepsi generation to the generation just like that, all of a sudden.
Well, the other guys are going, okay, cool it, Donny.
Parents will have to start working again. There's no doubt about it.
Has there been any country where you've been an unlikely hit, where you didn't think you were going to be big?
Yeah, we were talking about that. China, I think, is the country.
China now is...
The most unusual country that we've succeeded in.
Yeah.
We've got the group of the year last year in China, which was very
Yes,
strange.
they were playing our
That's
songs across the
crazy.
border for propaganda for mail. They were.
That's crazy.
They've
They
got
were
little
playing-
books now.
The thoughts of the Bee Gees.
Thoughts of the Bee Gees. Have you ever thought of going over there?
Well, that's just an exaggeration.
Have you ever thought of making a tour there? If and when they open it up, you did?
The only thing is that, I mean, it's not just because of the money thing, but we could tour Russia or any communist country or China, but you can't take the money out or you can't bring anything back with
That's
you.
right.
So if if we ever wanted a holiday of China, we'd have money there. We could go there and spend it there, but we
Good
couldn't
there
bring
for a
it out.
vacation.
It's not the Black Sea vacation.
They used to have, I know in England, they did a Tonight Show over there for a while, or called it Tonight. I think it was once a week. Do they still have?
Well, they have the Michael Parkinson show, which is
Yeah.
once a
Yes.
week, where they have a top guest. One top guest every week.
Well, that's it. It's more of a
Any international
Still
star,
not,
American,
more of a talk
British.
show than entertainment. huh?
Yeah, and it's the highest rating talk show there now.
It's great to have you guys here again.
Thank you.
Let me do this and do another thing for us if you'd like. We'll take a brief pause here. We'll be right back after word from your local station.
Love and kisses. That's what a girl gets when she roasts her turkey the Reynolds Wrap way. Directions are on the heavy-duty package. First, line your roasting pan with Reynolds Wrap to catch the juices. See how it molds tight and firm? So strong, so tear-resistant. Now tint the turkey with Reynolds Wrap to keep the bird deliciously moist. Beautiful. Reynolds Wrap, oven-tempered for flexible strength. Reynolds Wrap.
Centuries ago, Portuguese sailors discovered the world. Now visit Matus and discover Portugal.
Matus goes well with new things, worlds to conquer, hills to climb.
Discover Matus, the rosé wine discovered by the country that discovered the world. Visit Matus, the rosé wine that's like a trip to Portugal.
Hey, 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 Matus Rosé.
Once again, here are the Bee Gees. Fellas?
You got to live a little bit faster, 'cause you got a little less time to go. I ain't lost and I ain't searching, but then you know me very well. And I can change lost and I ain't searching. But then you know me very well. And I can change the world and make it go the other way. I'm a fool, and I can tell that I'm alive, and that's all. I can get up as fast as I fall, and I can walk and run, but I'll never crawl. And in the end, it doesn't matter at all. I don't know about the people that I read about in books, and the kings and queens around my room with their quiet, dirty looks. I know I should be going somewhere, I just can't arrive. And a reason for believing that I've never been alive. I know I should be going somewhere, I just can't arrive. And a reason for believing that I've never been alive. Alive,
Thank you, fellas. If you're making more than one trip with a garbage a week, you're making too many.
This morning, Harry carried out a week of garbage for his family of 4. His neighbor Sam carried out a week of garbage for his family of 4, including backyard barbecue waste. The difference is the Sears Kenmore Compactor. The compactor crushes a whole week of garbage, bottles, bones, cans and all, deodorizes it, and turns it into one neat bagful. The Sears Kenmore Compactor, for men who hate to be garbage men.
Sears Lady Kenmore dishwasher. Gives you freedom from scraping, freedom from pre-rinsing, because it has 2 hot water jets that scour dishes, and a stainless steel pulverizer for soft food waste. We call Sears Lady Kenmore the Freedom Maker, because it gives you freedom to do more important things.
Should mention on tomorrow night's show, we'll have Miss Diana Ross with us, Shecky Green, Karen Valentine, and actor Robert Shaw. And in New York, starting Monday night, some of our guests in the first few days will be Mayor John Lindsay, Debbie Reynolds, Muhammad Ali, Jerry Lewis, Ethel Merman, Lauren Green, Tony Randall, Bob and Ray, Truman Capote, and William F. Buckley, Jr. I do the standard David Fry impression of that. Rob Reiner used to be known some years ago, probably, best known as the son of Carl Reiner, the actor and comedian and producer. Right now, he's a star in his own right as the son-in-law on the most successful television show in the last couple of years, All in the Family. And on top of that, he just wrote and narrated this record album, contemporary version of Peter and the Wolf. Would you welcome, please, Rob Reiner?
How are you doing?
I'm fine. It's good to have you back with us.
Yes. That show that you mentioned in the blurb at the beginning, the That Girl show, where
Yes.
Anne got her foot stuck in a bowling ball. I was in that show.
Were you in that particular
Yes.
episode?
I don't know why I bring it up. I mean, it's a proud achievement. I didn't have a big part in it.
I think anybody who was in that show should bring that up occasionally.
I played the bowling ball.
Good.
Which was fun. I was fun.
Hey, you're more formal tonight.
Yeah,
Usually
well,
you
I
don't wear a tie,
got my
Rob.
cords on. I don't. This is all wardrobe, by the way. It's not my. It's from All in the Family. When I get dressed up as Mike, I wear this, and I took it home with me. I never get dressed up. So
The show is still as hot as ever this year, isn't it? Which is
yes,
great.
I think so. We got a lot of phone calls though. The last show we did. I don't know how many people saw it. It was the Saturday night before the election. It was very big Nixon-McGovern debates between Archie and myself. Violent phone calls from people.
Well, anytime you do anything.
Oh, they went
political.
crazy. They completely forget your characters, your fictional characters. They think that is what is, And I think even President Nixon asked for a transcript of the script, which is unusual, you know. He wanted to see it. And they was writing and saying, you should have said it was a paid political announcement, the whole show, you know.
That's interesting. And you get it equally on both sides, too.
Oh, we get it all. Yeah, no matter what we do, you'll
Right.
get the other.
You're doing a little writing for the show now, aren't you?
Yes, well, I have been writing. I've written a couple of episodes in the last 2 years, and then this year I wrote a 2-part episode with my partner, Phil Mishkin, which will be on this Saturday and next Saturday. It's a flashback to Mike and Gloria's wedding, when Mike and Gloria got married. And it's strange, you know. I wrote the script, Phil and I wrote the script, and it was the only show that we did, I couldn't remember any of my lines. We got up there, and we started doing the show, and all I could do was listen to what was playing and what wasn't playing. I was listening to the audience and see what kind of response we were getting, and I just stood there like a member of the audience, listening to the show.
Saying, hey, that's
and then,
not too bad, yeah.
I have to speak now. Oh, my. And then I said something, and it wasn't the right thing.
That's the contest. They're trying to bridge the gap
Yeah,
between
it's
the author
terrible,
and
terrible,
being in
but
it.
We have a couple of shows.
Was this based, you had kind of the word might be bizarre or strange wedding yourself,
Well,
didn't you?
bizarre,
Bizarre.
John. You know, I don't know what bizarre. It was improvisational. My wife and I.
It wasn't your standard.
No, it
run-of-the-mill
wasn't.
wedding.
Take the sickness and then health and all that. It was. We improvised our vows. We didn't. We had not spoken to each other before the marriage ceremony as
Right.
to what we were going to say to each other. But when we got to the moment of truth, we said what we had to say to each other, which was get lost. No. No, we said some very sort of unpretentious things. We didn't want to make the ceremony sound like, you know,
A
more,
manufactured kind of.
yeah, that kind of thing. But it was a strange ceremony in the fact that because we wanted to make our own ceremony, I wanted to have it done as little legality as possible. I wanted a judge to come in and say, I now pronounce you man and wife. And I called the guy up, and he said, yes. It was a Southern guy. He said, yeah, Rob Reiner. He says, Jed, damn, I love that show of yours, All in the Family. Yeah, that and the Beverly Hillbillies are my 2 favorite shows. So right away I knew.
This is the judge that married you?
This is the judge that married me. And I said, look, what can you do that is the least possible? He says, well, I can say about a power invested in me, state of California, and now pronounce you man and wife. I said, fine, that's all I want you to say. He said, I got a poem prepared for the thing. You know, one of those together, and when you go through life together down life's path, one of those type of poems. I said, no, don't say the poem. Just say what you have to say. We're going to improvise the thing. A friend of ours, Martin Landau, the actor, had prepared a 10-minute, I guess you would call it fantasy fairy tale as to how my wife and I met. We were born across the street from each other in New York City. Never knew each other until we moved out here and met, 20-some-odd years later. Right. And it was that kind of a fairy tale story. And he went and did, and so he says, well, he would ask me, the judge asked me, he said, so now the Landau feller's doing what? I said, Martin Landau's going to do about 10 minutes, this little thing, then we're going to say our vows, improvise to each other, and then all I want you to say is that. He said, well, that Landau feller's getting 10 minutes. I got 30 seconds here. I said, when you're a major star of a television show, you'll get more. He says, right now you get 30 seconds. He says, I don't know, that Landau guy's getting all the time. I said, just please say that, that's all. Don't say anything more. We got to the ceremony. Everything went very smoothly. We said our vows, and he said, I now pronounce you man and wife. Beautiful. We walked back up the aisle. He says, now as they go as one man and wife, Rob Reiner and his beautiful bride together, walking as one, I present to the world in unison, and it went on. And as I'm walking, the steam is coming out of my ears, blew the whole ceremony.
But he got his little thing.
He got his thing in just at the last second.
Well, you see, there's a little show business in
all of
everybody.
us, yes.
Do you still have all those neurotic cats or dogs?
I have a strange bevy of animals.
Yeah.
I have 2 cats, Rhoda and Howie.
Good name for cats.
Good name for cats. Rhoda she has one strange quirk. She likes to go for your nose. She gets up on top of you, and she puts her nose in your nose. If it were up to her, she would live in your nose.
Strange cat.
Strange cat. And Howie, the other cat, is 20 pounds, He's the fattest cat I've ever
20
seen.
pounds of
yes,
cat?
He's 20 pounds of cat. One day he was about this big, and the next day we came into the house and he was 20 pounds.
Maybe he ate Rhoda.
He might have ate.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. It was a strange transformation. Woo! Yeah. Anyway, he's not like a cat. I mean, he doesn't do cat things because he's too big to do cat things. I mean, for instance, he would jump from here to that. Were we on a long? Yeah. From here to that table over there and fall on the floor.
The normal cat wouldn't do that.
Normal cat would land, you know, he would fall and hit his head, you know, out. You know, he would not land on his 4 feet.
An ungraceful cat just
Terribly
doesn't make it, does
ungraceful.
it?
He also is so slow that he can't catch anything, you know. Like Rhoda could catch mice and things like that. Howie brought in a sock once into the house. He got from outside, I know we got, and one day we woke up and my wife Penny called me into the other room and said, "Rob, come in here." And I said, "What is it?" She said, "Howie caught a rat." And I walked into the living room, and there was Howie standing over this rat who was already in a trap. I swear to you. I swear to you.
He brought the trap and everything
He
in.
couldn't catch the rat itself, but he caught the trap, you know. I figured, and he probably didn't do that well. He probably jumped at it, missed, and then grabbed it and walked in. Hysterical cat.
Strange animals you've
We were
got.
sitting another story, brief story. We have a few seconds. We were sitting out having a brunch out on our outside near the pool, and we were sitting with some friends, and we're eating and talking, and all of a sudden, from up on the roof, you hear. It was Howie.
The cat.
The cat. I swear, he has a cough like a man, an old man. And he also has no meow. He chokes on his own meow. I'm not kidding. He goes. Great animal.
That cat's due for a psychiatrist.
He's due.
They have out here, you know, believe it or not, they have gentlemen who are what they call pet psychiatrists. And if you have a dog, true, with emotional problems or so forth, you go to this.
They have also
Howie's
have
about
out here in
due.
Burbank. I hear they have a pet hotel where you can take your cat or dog and you check them into a room. I swear, this is the truth. And you give them certain instructions to the maid or whoever. I mean, the bellboy, whoever it is that does what he's supposed to do. And you can tell them, read to them at night, a certain thing.
It's true.
True, they have televisions in the rooms.
Oh, that's it.
That you can say, put the television on. The lady's nodding her head. It's true. They really have these things.
Just to keep the
Just to
pet.
keep the cats happy and the dogs happy.
Never had good luck with pets. My pets always ended up like you.
Really?
Sulking. I mean, strange.
Well, I love the cat. I mean, I love them. My dog is...
You ever seen a dog suck its paw? Neurotic. They just sit there. I
really?
mean, that's
Your
sad.
dog did that?
Yeah.
Oh, that is sad.
Sad. We have to take a break here, but we're coming right back.
Peacock blue.
Lemon frost. China blue frost.
New Super Rich Eyeshadow by Revlon. In 25 colors you just won't find anywhere else. So super rich, they last hours without a touch-up and without greasing. Hypoallergenic, too.
Dusty pink frost.
Stormy blue.
Baby strawberry.
Big value in a purse-size compact. Super Rich Eyeshadow by Revlon. Beautiful.
Protect and preserve your wood investment with the finest name in wood care, Scott's Liquid Gold. Either way, liquid or spray, there's nothing else like it.
We can talk about that. Rob was saying you'd read Dr. Rubin's first book, which was everything you've always wanted to know about sex, but we're afraid to ask. He has another book called Any Woman Can. You said there was something he didn't talk about there, but we can talk about it if you want to ask him when he comes out. Would you welcome, please, Dr. David Rubin? According to an article in Playboy magazine this month, I treat you with hushed reverence, according to the author. I think it was Miss Betty Rollin that did the thing on you in Playboy.
Something like that.
And she gave you a pretty good going over, did she not?
Well, my feeling, Johnny, is if Playboy doesn't like me, I must be doing something right.
Yeah, she really I'll tell you now, I don't like to get in arguments with the press, but she did an article on me a couple years ago, 6, 7 years ago for Look magazine, and went for the jugular vein. It was very nice during the article, and then all of a sudden, boom, in print. You say, what happened between there and there? I have a feeling she doesn't like men particularly.
And that may be her specialty, you know. Every writer specializes in a certain kind of writing, and sometimes they use the ballpoint pen to put between your shoulder blades.
Yeah, and especially when somebody gets well-known or has a measure of very quick notoriety, success, there seem to be a certain number of people ready to show their Achilles heel and want to cut them down very quickly.
Yeah, but you know, in a real sense, John, and speaking seriously just for a moment, life is not a popularity contest. You have to do the best that you can, and really that's all there is to it.
Good. Well, that takes care of that anyway.
Even President Nixon couldn't please everybody.
What makes you say that? Why do you say that?
No. There's a couple interesting things they said in the article, and as I say, I don't like to get in arguments with people who make a living reporting or writing. But she said in the article that you had not had any background and you were not listed by the... I'm reading from the Playboy article now, so forgive me a second until I find it. It says, you've not been recognized by the American Board of Psychiatry, and you're not listed, and so forth and so on. Then I have a letter here from the American Medical Association, in which you are a clinical research associate in psychiatry, chief of psychiatry at the Walker Air Force Base Hospital in Roswell, New Mexico. The 25th edition of the American Medical Directory gives Dr. Rubin's practice designation as general practice in psychiatry. So she says you're not listed, and here it is from the American Medical Association. So at least we ought to get the facts straight if you're going to write factual things about somebody's background.
I couldn't agree more. And there are two evidences that I have that I'm a psychiatrist. First of all, that letter from the AMA that you just read. And secondly, all these gray hairs, each one
does it, huh?
put there by a patient.
Okay. You must, as I say, you probably get a lot of pros. Rob, you were going to ask a question. I don't know whether you wanted to bring it up or...
I don't know. I just felt... I read the book, and I liked it very much, and I found it very informative. But there was one thing, and maybe I missed it. It seems that sex is a very individual thing, you know, and it didn't allow for that, discussing that. It talked in terms of what's common to everyone and not what's unique to everyone. And that is sex with two people is different than sex with another two people. Each two people have their own, you know, the things that they enjoy and find pleasurable, whatever.
You're talking about the first book, Everything You Always
Yes, the
Wanted
first
to Know
book,
About
right.
Sex. I tried to make up for that in the second
this
book,
book.
Any Woman Can.
Oh, I didn't read the second book.
Well,
I'll find out.
That's because you're not a woman, but you can read it anyway,
Any
Rob.
woman can, and some men should.
Yeah, anytime that you just discuss sex on a show, and we've mentioned this before, people get uptight because it's just not a series of techniques or something. It goes, and you said before, the most important sex organ is the brain, and this is where it all starts. It's not a manipulation or doing certain tricks and so forth, and that solves everybody's problems. And I think that's sometimes what people think it is. You know, you do this, and automatically you're going to have great happiness. And it doesn't work that way.
You're right, John. And if it were that simple, then I wouldn't have to write a book. It could all be covered in Popular Mechanics.
And they might do it yet, the way things are going lately. What is the... you get a lot of mail. I know we talked about it one day when we were having lunch together. You said you get credible letters. Is there one question that is asked more often than others?
Well, gee, it's very difficult because men and women both ask different questions which are relative to their specific sexual problems. I would say that if we had to say one problem, it's from both men and women who say, why is it that sex was so great before we got married? And now that we've been married, aha, you have that problem. Okay.
Where is the passion, you mean? That
It was terrific. And then when we got married after 2 or 3 months, well, it's like doing the laundry. Well, and honestly, that's exactly the way one lady described it. People say, what can I do to put passion, to put romance, to put real sexual excitement back into my relationship with my husband or with my wife? And they say things like this, you know, when it was in the hotel room or the drive-in movie or the back of the car, then it was really something. But now that it's the privacy of our own home, it doesn't seem to have the same allure.
Because it's not forbidden.
Exactly. And it is the lure of the forbidden.
Woody Allen said something, you know, very funny, but also very true. He said, they asked him, is sex dirty? And he said, only if you're doing it right.
It has a certain element.
That same thing. Sure.
Yeah.
But that's one
Sex
of the...
among two consenting adults is terrific. Among six, it's fantastic. I got another one. No, but it's just not that easy. Do you recommend? Seriously, and I've heard of people who do this occasionally. The husband and wife do get away from the house. They go somewhere else, to a hotel, and check in to recapture some kind of that, spontaneity.
Well, as long as it's with each other, I don't think...
Yeah, I meant that. I didn't think of that.
But, there are other techniques that are becoming more popular these days, and it is, I think a way to describe it is the transistorized bedroom. So often now you see a bedroom that has a water bed and strobe lights and 8-track stereo and a little vibrator buzzing on the bedside table.
Where is this room?
You'll have to get in line. That's fine.
Beverly Hills, on any block.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
You mean a manufactured atmosphere, thinking that this will...
A Japanese love palace,
right,
so to speak. But the only problem is, if it works, it only works temporarily, because you cannot substitute apparatus and equipment and automation for real sexual, emotional feeling. And, the problem is, for 6 weeks, the stuff is in the bedroom, and then after that, it ends up in the garage, where it doesn't do anybody any good.
Right.
I think the solution is the obvious one, and maybe that's why it's so difficult for many of us to see. The real sexual action does not occur externally. It occurs internally. And sex is an expression of human emotions, of human feelings. It's constantly exciting because the emotional relationship between people, as you suggested, is constantly changing.
Right.
The sexual, how can I put it, the mechanics of sex never change. There is no way one piece of equipment relates to another piece of equipment in exactly the same way, almost under each circumstances. But the way that one brain relates to another brain, it's never the same 2 seconds in a row.
Yeah, but how do you tell people that to discourage your disgruntled partners who come to you and say, gee, we've been living together 10 years or 15 years, and what do we do to revitalize it? I mean, their emotions are still there, but
okay,
that becomes a question, because wives start worrying about their husbands looking for the younger girl. That's one of the big fears of women as they get a little bit older, that the husband is going to go to the young chick.
That's right.
Well, I want to ask you another question to follow up on that, because I read an article the other day about that, where some psychiatrist was advancing the theory that an affair once in a while by either party is a good thing for a marriage.
It may be a good thing for that psychiatrist.
Yeah.
But it does, sexual betrayal, and I think that's what it is, never helped anyone. It's only really getting into deeper water.
Can we follow up on this when we come back? All right, after this first, we'll be back and discuss the subject.
Until now, all fabric softeners worked in your washer, but clothes could come from your dryer filled with static electricity. Now there's Cling-Free, the anti-static fabric softener you spray in your dryer. Cling-Free's exclusive CF17 penetrating action gets clothes so soft. Soft is the leading softener without static cling. There's no dryer buildup, and Cling-Free costs less to use than leading softeners. Get Cling-Free. It puts in softness, takes out cling.
Actress and housewife Patricia Neal.
Good coffee is one of my passions, especially in the morning. And my husband's has to be just right. I use Maxim because it tastes like percolated coffee. Maxim starts with fresh percolated coffee. Then it's freeze-dried into big chunks of perk coffee. Coffee with character. My husband says Maxim is the best tasting ever, and I never argue with him, especially when he's right.
We were talking with Dr. David Rubin, and we were discussing the subject, and I saw this, and prominent psychiatrists or counselors I've seen in the national publications have advised sometimes that, yes, under certain circumstances, an extramarital affair can enchant and bring the other people closer together. And I've never really understood how that can really work. And as you said, it never usually does.
Well, apply the same analogy to business. If you're doing business with someone and you want to improve your relationship with him, simply cheat him out of money once in a while. It doesn't make any sense. And we're talking about a far more intimate relationship and one that has so much more emotions involved. If you are involved sexually with someone, double-cross them from time to time, and they'll love you much more for it. I don't think it works. Now, sometimes psychiatrists, being only human, sometimes a psychiatrist is tempted to say something that will rationalize his own behavior. If he wants to engage in an extramarital affair, if he says, well, you know, it's all right and I recommend it to my patients, then maybe that makes it easier for him. But
then he must have a hang-up somewhere along the line.
I would say so. My feeling is, if you are a psychiatrist, you can only make your patients as mature as you are. You must treat them and teach them by example. If you're telling them to stop smoking, you can't light a cigarette in the process. When you're coming to dealing with sexuality, it's even more difficult to set the right example. But it's the only way that I know.
Yeah. What is the status now of sex education in the schools? We touched on that once, and that's a subject that gets emotions at fever pitch among parents of this, when their children should be taught. And I suppose it really depends on who is doing the instructing and the qualifications of the teachers.
Right, but there is no teacher in the world, in my opinion, who is better qualified to teach sex to children than any parent. The best teacher is less qualified than the worst parent, because the parent knows the child, loves the child, has given literally life to the child. And giving the most important information in the world to that child comes naturally from the parents.
But so many parents are embarrassed to talk about things like that.
And the teachers are embarrassed too. It's not that much easier for the teachers.
Oh, really?
So if the parent first gets the information themselves and then transmits it to the child, that makes sense. Why not let the teachers in the schools teach the parents, so the parents can teach the children?
We'll be right back. I thank you for being with us again.
Thank you for
Doctor,
having me.
it's always a pleasure to see you. Rob, say hello to your cats.
Okay.
Your cats will understand that. Tomorrow night, Diana Ross, Shecky Green, Karen Valentine, and Robert Shaw. Good night. What?
This program was pre-recorded.